Hello everyone and welcome back to Plant Tycoon, our Q&A rambling series. So this is basically the series where you guys get to ask me some awesome questions and I will provide the answers and ramble away to my heart's content. It is very much a very casual, relaxing series where we just kind of take care of the plants here in Plant Tycoon, one of my favorite old games of all time. We breed up plants and sell them at our little nursery, and we chit chat about just my life and thoughts on things, thoughts on the channel, answering your guys' questions while I take care of plants. It is the perfect merging of the two worlds that I really love. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get everything taken care of over here. And I already put some soil in, and let's snag this. All right, so let me just go ahead and sort a few things out. There we go. We're going to try selling this maple, and then I am going to jump into some more of you guys' questions. So thank you so much for leaving even more awesome questions for me. It's so exciting to know that you guys are just curious minds and you would love to know more about me, which is kind of an odd thing to think about. But again, I've talked again and again about how much I personally am addicted to Q&A series that YouTubers run, especially the ones where they're a bit more casual and they're really random questions. So I can understand the appeal. So all right, I gotta take care of my little fern. There we go. All right, good. So that should be okay. Let me go ahead, and I actually want to cross-pollinate this plant and catch this spider. There we go. And we're gonna perch over here in our little nursery and see if anyone wants to buy our stuff while we answer some questions. So one really fun random question that kind of popped up on my big list was asked many months ago by Sunshine Savannah. And Sunshine Savannah asked, how long is your hair? It's gorgeous. And thank you so much, Savannah. My hair is very, very long. The last time I had it cut like at a hairdresser or something like that was when I was 10 years old. And so I am 28 now, so it's been about 18 years since I have had it cut. My cousin, my wonderful cousin who lives in Texas and I haven't seen in a long time, so I should probably go visit her, is actually a hairstylist, and she's the only one I have trusted since then to do little bits of trims where she'll just take off like 3 inches here and there. But I sit on my hair. That's how long it is. And when Tangled came out, I used to have little kids stop like in a store and point at me with their parents. And they're like, is that Rapunzel? And I thought that was really cute because I don't look anything like Rapunzel. I have brown hair and brown skin and brown eyes. So I loved it. And so I would joke with the kids when I was like the employee there that I was part of the Rapunzel Society, and I hoped that they could keep their secret with me. And that just like, the kids loved that. They thought that was so charming, and then the parents would giggle. And then it made me feel good because I love my long hair. But my hair is very long, and I just started growing it out because when I was about maybe 11 or 12, and you start getting really self-conscious about how you look, people started telling me how pretty my hair was. And I thought that was nice, so I decided just not to cut it. And then I realized I kind of liked long hair, and it's not a lot of work to take care of, in my opinion. I mean, I guess if I think about it, I like slather it with all sorts of special, like after you shower conditioners, and I brush it with a special hairbrush. But those, I guess that's kind of when you know that it's something you don't mind, because those things aren't chores to me. They're just like fun little details about my life, little things that make me me and make me different and quirky. And yeah, I don't mind that I use like a special brush for my hair because it's my hair, and I'll take care of it really, really well to the best of my abilities. I do need to get it cut again. I am sitting on it. I sit on it all the time. I have to like wrap it up really carefully when I sleep. Otherwise I could probably strangle myself with it. If I wear my hair in a long braid and turn too quickly, I have been known to smack people across the face with my braid by accident, because it'll just kind of whip behind me and like just smack someone in the eye, and it actually hurts a lot more than it sounds like it would. And I do get it shut in car doors quite often. When I swim, I definitely have to keep it like in a nice braid, especially if I can get somebody to do like a high up French braid. That's amazing. I can't do that on my own. And that sounds boring, but you guys, when you swim and you have hair this long, it's not the pretty mermaid effects you see in all of those movies. It just goes all over the place, and it's really heavy, and then you worry about like leaves and stuff in the water getting caught in it. So yeah, I keep my hair in a braid, or I keep it up in a little clippy. I call my clips octopi, like little octopuses, because they're big, giant clips in order to hold all my hair up. But I keep it up in a clip most of the time, because if it isn't in a clip, that means it's going to get shut in a door, or I'm going to sit on it, or it's going to get caught on something. So it's really pretty, and personally I love it. It's one of the physical aspects of myself that I just really adore. But it is a bit of work in the sense of things getting shut in car doors, but I don't really look at like all the maintenance of it as work, because they're things I weirdly enough enjoy. So that's kind of random about my hair, but again, it's rambling series. That's what this is for. And now I'm blushing because I just realized I talked for my hair for like 5 minutes. Okay, blushing so hard. All right, well, then we have another question from Sunshine Savannah, and she asked a couple more that I think are actually pretty interesting, so I'll answer those too. If you couldn't be a biologist, what would you want to be? And that's really difficult because technically I am what I would want to be. I'm a YouTuber, and I didn't know what a YouTuber was when I got started. I didn't, like, for months after making my first videos, I didn't know you could make money off YouTube. I didn't know that Let's Plays were a thing. I had only seen one other person, Just Jessa, make her Sims videos, and I thought that she was the only person in the world who had ever come up with this idea of, like, recording her Sims play. And wasn't that so cool? And she called it a Let's Play, and that seemed really neat. So for about 6-7 months after I made my first videos, I didn't know that Let's Plays were a thing. I didn't know YouTube was a thing. I had no idea any of that existed, and I was just putting my videos up going, oh, this is kind of fun. I wonder, and then one day I went, I wonder if anyone has played any other games and put it on YouTube. And then I ran a search and stumbled on, I think, the Yogscast first, and saw how big they were, and saw like it was a company, and like did some Googling, and I was like, what? This is what people do for real? And this person's complaining our stuff is too expensive, so we'll go ahead and turn the prices down a little bit. Look, and we have a new flower to try growing. So yeah, if I couldn't be a biologist, I would love to be an educator. And that's kind of what I'm doing as a YouTuber. I am combining my love of the natural world and my passion for biology and my passion for trying to teach people about the world that we live in with the, let's grab this, with the medium of video games. And that's how I kind of explain what I do to people, is I use, oh, there's a butterfly. I use video games and vlogs and recording and YouTube as a medium for my passion for the natural world and for as many lessons as I can offer people. So yeah, technically this isn't being a biologist. This is teaching people still though. So I would want to educate people about the natural world. And I guess being a biologist is kind of like part of that. I don't have the rest of my biology degree finished. I'm hoping I can finish that as soon as Chips and I stop having to move every single year, and we can actually have like a home that we can stay in. Oh wow, these are worth a lot. What the heck are they going to grow into? I'm going to give it a little speed boost so we can see what this is going to turn into. Oh, that's so cool. Good job, little Daisy Fern. You're producing something interesting. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and sell that guy. And I think I want to combine the Daisy Fern and the Maple, and we'll see what turns out there. And we'll just get some random seeds and just see what happens, and we'll see if we can sell these guys. All right, we'll turn the price down on them a little bit. There you go. All right, let's go. But yeah, so okay, I got a little sidetracked. Sorry about that. So if I could be a biologist, I would want to teach about the natural world because I think it's super important. And I love teaching people. I love watching people's eyes spark up. And that's actually what I used to do. A lot of you guys know that story already, but I used to be an environmental educator for elementary school children. I worked as a teacher for a nonprofit teaching elementary school children about cave ecology specifically. And I worked inside of a cave, and like it was really fun. It was inside of a real cave. It was just a boring limestone cave that had been hollowed out for like computer storage and stuff like that, because limestone caves make for really good storage places because the temperature and the humidity is controlled year round. So sensitive materials and computer servers and those kinds of things could be stored safely in this limestone cave in Missouri. And one of the units was actually the nonprofit educational center. I guess I could tell you guys what it was called. It's called Earthworks, and it's amazing. And they worked with elementary school students, and I was one of their teachers. And so I would teach the elementary school students, a whole classroom of them at a time, about cave ecology. biology, and they would come in for the day and they would come into my unit. So they're already inside of the limestone cave, which is kind of boring and just a hollowed out, lit up limestone cave. And then you go inside of my unit, which was an artificial cave built inside the limestone cave that had stalactites and stalagmites, and it had bat skeletons, and we had all sorts of books and microscopes, and it was very, very, very hands-on. It was amazing. I loved that job. We really, really encouraged the kids to get up out of their desks, to work with like the food webs that we had, to work with the computer programs we had. They could do coloring, they could look at the microscopes, they could really like interact with everything. I had mealworms and hissing cockroaches. There's not a lot of animals in the cave, by the way, to show them like live mealworms and hissing cockroaches. And the salamander, we did have a tiger salamander to show them what creatures lived in caves, and I adored that job. So if I couldn't be specifically like a biologist scientist out there in the field, and biologist covers a gigantic umbrella of jobs, then I would want to do that job again. And if I couldn't do that job, then I would want to have some other kind of environmental education job, which is what I'm doing in a weird way. I'm sort of turning a little bit more into a storyteller, but after we move, I'm going to try to steer the channel kind of back on track with being able to focus on science a little bit more here and there, and being able to do specimen Saturdays every single week reliably, maybe interviewing different people, being able to travel the world. When Chips and I start traveling worldwide, I want to be able to go to different research areas. I want to be able to go to different parks. I want to be able to meet worldwide, if I could, with different scientists and just do tiny little interviews and show you guys just how the field of biology is gigantic. It's like pointing at somebody and being like, that person's a doctor. Well, somebody is not just a doctor. They're a family practice doctor. They're a psychiatrist. They are like a foot doctor. They're a tonsil doctor. They have a field of specialty. And biology is the same way. It's really hard just to point at somebody and be like, that's a biologist. Yes, there's general biologist, but there's usually a field of specialty behind that person's experience or somewhere that they want to go. I follow tons of biologists on Twitter, and one of the ones I really love following the most, and she's really great at like tweeting all the time and has like a really sarcastic sense of personality, I think is kind of endearing, is a cheetah researcher. And she spends most of her year living in Africa researching cheetahs, and so she'll post pictures of the cheetahs that she looks at. So she is a biologist, but her specialty is kind of geared towards cheetahs. So yeah, biology covers a huge field, and you could be out in the field like she is, or you could end up teaching. Like you could end up being like a biology teacher at a high school or something like that, or you could end up working for a company to like do stream research and make sure that their factories aren't polluting the streams. You could end up working for the government and doing like wildlife management and research. There's so much you can do, and things are continually changing. I like to still refer to myself as a biologist in training because I haven't finished my degree entirely just yet. Got sidetracked when we had to move across the country. And then I couldn't afford the out-of-state tuition. They wanted like $25,000 a semester, and I could not, no way, under no circumstances in any kind of imaginary situation could I possibly afford that. So we're waiting until after we move to Michigan, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to apply and get into one of the universities around there and finish my degree. But the interesting thing is my YouTube career is probably just as successful as many of my friends' actual biology careers right now. So I'm kind of at a fork in the road a little bit. And I'll have to see what I'm going to do. But I'm thinking in the future to kind of unite my passion for the natural world and my channel, I might end up going back to school even part-time so that I can kind of balance both worlds. And I might start making lots of videos that will show like what it's like to be in the lab, working with like my fellow biology students, doing like extra work out in the field for my classes. I might bring you guys along with that journey with me. And then you would really see what it's like to be a biology student and to study biology on the university level and the broad range of what it could mean. But even if I did finish my biology degree, which I do want to do one day, the irony is I would still want to be doing to some degree what I'm doing right now. Public outreach, public education, really trying to inspire people's creativity, to give them a sense of connection with the natural world. And that's not really like a job in itself. So it's like that's kind of something that you just have to use the resources of whatever career you end up in to do. It's not really like educational outreach scientist, hands-on creativity inspiring expert. That's not like one job. It's not, you can't condense that down into one job. It's more like a lifestyle. So I ramble about that for a long time and feel kind of silly about that now, but it's really important to me, so I must have been pretty excited. All right. All right, so Chris Plays asked, Siri, who inspired you to do YouTube? And I did touch on that a little bit earlier. That was Jessa. So Jessa, oh, I'm full of seeds. No. All right, we're going to have to sell some seeds, you guys. Well, I'm going to go, oh, geez. Some of these, you know what, that seed's only worth $1, so I think we can go ahead and just like ship it out. No, don't get sick. Stay healthy, little one. You need to bud. Okay, we're going to try to get the flowers. Oh, look at this guy. So pretty. This lemon bush is gorgeous. I think if we combine this lemon bush with this blue star maple, you get something special, if I remember right. I've played Plant Tycoon so many times, you think I would remember. Oh my goodness. But anyway, who inspired me to do YouTube? Well, I told you guys part of that story before. It was a woman called Just Jessa. I'm not sure if she still does YouTube videos anymore, but she was making Sims 2 Let's Plays, and I found one of her Let's Plays linked on Twitter. Somebody was like, hey, this is really cool. And I was like, huh, I wonder what this is. And I sort of just stumbled into, all right, I want to actually combine these two and see what happens. And so I clicked on it and saw her Let's Play, and I thought, wow, this is really neat. And at the time, I was working as a nanny, and I had a little bit, like, I was working as a nanny for my nieces. No, excuse me, they're not my nieces, they're my cousins, but we tend to call them my nieces because there's a huge age difference of like 20 years. So I was working as a nanny, and I had to basically be home all day long and like clean the house. I was in charge of like household chores and a lot of like the kids stuff and picking the kids up from school and all of those things. And I had a lot, it's hard to say I had a lot of free time. It's hard to explain because it was like I was home and I was working all day, yes. But like there was a lot of time where working meant waiting for the laundry to finish, like going through the washer and dryer and waiting for like the dishes to finish or waiting for the kids to get out of school. And so you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You can't really leave because you have to go get the kids in an hour and a half, but you're looking for something to do. So I played a ton of Sims. I played Sims and it was my happy thing. All right, we're definitely going to have you propagate and I hope you survive so I can get some beautiful, oh, don't die. I'm going to buy like a plant boosting vitamin and that's insect poison. Okay, I think we need some of that. And then amazing boost, enormous dose. Okay, I want to save it. We're going to save its little life. What? I thought we had insects. It does have insects. Get off my little plant, you insects. All right, and then we're going to give it a little health boost. All right, you guys, I think we may have saved that little one. Hopefully it'll stick around for us. Oh man, and we are getting so many seeds. I don't think those seeds are going to be worth very much though, so we'll go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and sell the seeds that are sort of sitting in their inventories because I don't really have any space for them. Sorry, everybody. All right, there we go. All right. But yeah, I had a lot of spare time just kind of sitting at home in between all of the household chores. It was kind of like being a stay-at-home mom, but I was like accountable to my aunt to have a lot of things done every day. Like kind of like being a nanny is like being someone's personal assistant and a nanny all at the same time, just to be completely upfront about it. So yeah, or like, you know, you have to be home to be watching the kids, but because you live there, it's not like babysitting where you have to actively be playing with the kids 24/7. And especially because of the age of the kids being like in late elementary school, by that age, they don't want you actively playing with them 24/7. They want you to just like, hello, you're not cool anymore, like a cousin Siri. You're like, I want to play with the kids next door in the toy room. So it was just like monitoring and keeping an eye on them. So I would be on my laptop and I played a ton of Sims while they would do their homework and while they would like, you know, play in the toy room or be doing their chores. And then the downtime when I'm waiting for the food to finish cooking, you know, it was very much kind of like you were sort of locked at home and you had free time, but you were still on the job all the time. It's hard to explain, but that's kind of what being a nanny was like for me. So I played a ton of Sims and I told stories on Tumblr at the time. I would take pictures and screenshots and write up these really elaborate stories for my Sims. I love Legacy Challenge. I've always played Legacy Challenge style, where the Sims kind of are the ones in control and they tell the story. I have never been really one of those players to come up with anything like a solid plot and then force the characters into certain poses to fit that plot. I just like going with what the Sims stories will do, like where they will take me. And it was a lot of work to take those pictures and to type up for hours just to like explain one scene. So when I watched Jess's video and she in 30 minutes recorded and explained things that would have taken me maybe 2 weeks to take pictures of and write up explanations for, I realized that it was so much more effective of a way to share my stories as they evolved with everybody than taking pictures, then having to go back later and remember what happened and type everything up for hours. So I decided to make Sims videos because I saw her videos on Tumblr. And again, remember, for 7 months after I posted my first video on YouTube, I didn't know there was such a thing as Let's Plays Beyond Sims, like beyond Jess's stuff specifically. So that's what got me into YouTube. I didn't know what YouTubing was. I had never heard of PewDiePie. I had never heard of Markiplier. I had never heard of any of those people. And it was just Sims. It was my passion for Sims that got me into YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm so rambly today, but that's okay. That's what the series is for. Don't apologize, Siri. Hang in there. Be strong. All right, let me go ahead and water this. And I might answer a question or two. I don't think we're going to get any seeds off of this guy today, but I'll answer another couple questions. And I'll try to do it a little bit quicker. I hope you guys don't mind. This is the Q&A series. This is to get to know me and to spend time together and relax. If you're anything like me when I discovered Let's Plays, again, that nanny job, that could be kind of lonely during the day. It kind of comes back to the complaint I would often hear among my friends who are like stay-at-home moms or dads, where when you're home all day by yourself, especially once the kids are old enough to go to elementary school or have after-school activities, and you're just sitting there and you can't really leave because you know that you're going to be needed to do certain things, or you're doing laundry and chores that like just have a lot of downtime in between peaks of activity, it can be super lonely. And I would be at home like, bye auntie, bye girls, off you go to school. Okay, I've dropped you off at school. Okay, now I'm home again. All right, the laundry's going, the dishes are going. I already have dinner like marinating in the fridge or something. And then you're there for like 6 hours and you're sort of twiddling your thumbs and you're doing chores and you're by yourself. And you're by yourself, and you're by yourself. And then the kids get home. And then they immediately finish their homework and run out to play, and you sit there and you watch them play in the front yard, and you're still by yourself. And it was kind of lonely and isolating in a way, in the same sort of way where it can be when you're like a stay-at-home parent, I think. And especially because I didn't really have a lot of autonomy with what I did with my day. So it wasn't like I could be like my friends who are like, you know what, I'm going to join a play group, and they're off. Because I did have accountability to my boss as her nanny to make sure that the house was a certain like level of cleanliness, to get certain tasks that she would ask me to do done at the home. So again, I would have to do those things that would require tiny peaks of activity with long lulls waiting for things like the laundry to finish. So I know I keep mentioning the laundry. It's just the best example of kind of what nanny life was like. So when I found the Let's Plays, I wasn't alone anymore. And that changed everything. I went from starting to feel totally isolated and really depressed. I remember it was January, I think I found her Let's Plays maybe December 26th. And then by January 17th or January 14th, somewhere around then, I had posted my first video because it changed everything for me after that. And then once I found out there were other Let's Players that I could listen to, it was amazing because suddenly I had a voice all day with me. I had somebody telling a story, somebody laughing, somebody telling me their personal feelings about life, and they were there again and again. I could watch hundreds of their videos and I wasn't alone anymore. I got to know another personality. I got to have them with me every day on my schedule and my time. And I got to have somebody laughing and cheerful and giving me funny stories and insights, and sharing a world with me and building stories with me as their audience. And it changed everything. I went from feeling so lonely and isolated and kind of like my hands were tied, and we had just moved and I had left all of my friends back in Missouri, and I didn't know anybody my age. I didn't know anybody at all in North Carolina. This was before I met Chips, and it was so lonely. And finding Let's Plays on YouTube is what took that loneliness away. It's what gave me companionship in my day, because anytime I needed to, I could just open up my laptop. I have vivid memories of listening to Jessa's voice with the laptop open on the kitchen counter while I was preparing dinner or doing the dishes. And I would carry my laptop into the living room and I would turn it up really loud while I walked down the stairs and gathered up the laundry and then sat and folded laundry for like 30 minutes or so. There was always mountains of laundry to do. And I had that companionship, and it changed my life. I think that was a huge turning point for what could have become one of the worst depressive times in my life, when I was so lonely and just in a new place and I wasn't adjusting well because I was stuck home all day. So it really did change everything. So maybe the rambling, maybe the stories and the stuff that I do does that for you guys. And honestly, that scares the bedoodles out of me to think that I could have that kind of emotional impact on people. But I have hundreds, if not thousands, of emails, of snail mail letters, of comments. I know I have like hundreds of thousands of comments by now over the past 3 years I've been doing this, to say that is what this does for you guys. So I need to stop apologizing for my rambling. I'm not really a channel or a person that's here to try to be like getting the most laughs or making you guys like go, oh, the top 10 most awesome things. That's not me, because I didn't really get into making YouTube videos for those reasons. I didn't even know those types of videos existed, like shock value clickbaity things. I didn't even know they existed until after I became a YouTuber. So I think that's why my style is still so me. I never tried to emulate anybody, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that's wrong if you want to start there. Just that's why I'm not going to apologize for my rambling. I'm here because I want to fulfill that role, not only the role of being an educator and sharing my passion of the natural world, but on a deeper, more personal level, that role of if you are lonely and you need to feel like you have somebody with you there every day who you can start their voice when you need them, that moment. You can open up my video and you can come in and you can have that companionship when you need it the most. And if rambling can fill that goal for you, like fill that need that you have so that you can gain some strength and kind of steer your life into a more cheerful, positive direction, then I will ramble until I lose my voice. But I'm going to stop apologizing for rambling, because that's the whole point of everything I've ever put out and everything I've ever made, is to just try to share companionship with you guys. It's not to impress you. It's not to wow your socks off. It's not to make some iconic piece of media to last the ages. It's just to share the adventures with you and to hopefully give you that sense of friendship and companionship that, oddly enough, YouTube can really give you, even if you've never met that person or talked to them ever, not once in your life. But it's true that it makes you feel that way, to have somebody's voice there and to have them there for you, with you, whenever you need them. And even our real life friends and family can't do that. So it's an interesting, unique thing. I don't think it's something that should ever be abused, and you shouldn't use it to like fulfill relationships you really need in life. But I think it's a pretty powerful thing, and I know it did some great things for me. So there we go. That's why I'm going to try very hard not to... It's so pretty! That's why I'm going to try very hard not to criticize myself so much for rambling anymore. And thank you guys for letting me ramble about that. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that was in me, and suddenly it just like rolled right out. So I feel really good. It just feels really good to be able to think about that and look back on where I've come from and where we've gone and be like, oh yeah, that's what YouTube means to me, and that's what it has done in my life. All right, so we have some Knox fan leaves, and they look utterly gorgeous and beautiful. So we are going to propagate those with themselves. So we have a purebred strain of flower there. We have some beautiful rose lemon bushes that we have now propagated. I'm going to make sure that we get some of their seeds tucked away, because that's going to be really nifty. So let's see what we can get out of here. We're going to swap it. There we go. I'm going to move it to the very back so it can stay nice and safe over there, because I know that this guy and this guy, you can actually breed with different plants to get some of the rare mythical plants, which is what we're going for. If you breed one of these 6 rare mythical plants, it fills up one of these little spots and they sell for so much money. Suddenly we go from selling things for like $20 to selling things for like close to $500-600 or something ridiculous like that. So I feel really good. I didn't anticipate feeling that excited and that happy over that little speech and that talk I gave you guys. So that's a really powerful feeling. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. And I hope if you are in that lonely place that I was in, that you will be able to feel like you're a little bit less lonely. And like I said, don't use YouTube or videos or online anythings to try to isolate yourself or to try to... You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Don't do that, you guys. Don't use it to drag out a situation that you know you should probably be taking care of, is what I'm saying. Like, I probably should have figured out different ways to fulfill that loneliness when I was a nanny. But YouTube came along and kind of did that in a positive way. So just don't use it as a crutch. But I do hope that you guys have that sense of companionship. And gosh, this got really deep, so I'll just go ahead and focus on taking care of our little flowers, and thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time for another Greenhouse Rambles, when we can just kind of sit down together and have that sense of companionship. And yeah, leave your questions in the comments. I will gather them up into my gigantic pile of questions to go through, and let me know if you would like to see more rambles more often, because I forgot just how much they can make my heart feel completely unburdened and amazing. So have a wonderful day, you guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!